Hello and welcome to a ToooAir tutorial for call logs and track logs. This tutorial is current with dispatch version 1.1.5. So the ToooAir dispatcher can record all the audio to locally itself, as well as access the audio recordings that are being saved through to the ToooAir servers here in Sydney. So to access these recordings from the dispatcher, we can left click on the call logs button up the top pane here, and this will change our interactive pane on the right hand side to our call logs pane. So the local audio tab here, we can filter out the days we'd like to find our audio recordings from, and they'll populate in through the pane here. So if I want to just check out yesterday's recordings, just select yesterday there like that. And we have all of our recordings here. Go back to today's date. And to play back the recordings, we simply double left click each recording. And this will play back the recording through to us simultaneously with transmission broadcast. So you can actually still receive transmissions through the ToooAir system as well as listen to the audio recordings. We can also view these recordings with the Windows Explorer. So if we right click some of our recordings here and then left click open the directory where it belongs, this will open up Windows Explorer to the direct file path of where these recordings are saved. We can view these recordings in your local preferred Windows Media Player. I recommend VLC. So the audio recordings are actually also being saved to the ToooAir servers here in Sydney. And the dispatcher has the ability to access these recordings. So with the local recordings, they will only be recorded if the dispatcher is currently open and logged in and operating with a successful internet connection. Otherwise, the ToooAir servers are always recording, so you don't need to worry if you haven't logged in your dispatcher or not. So for the network audio tab, we can actually filter out which group we would like to search from. We can filter out the dates and time here. And if you just left click search, this will find all these recordings and populate it into the pane here. Likewise, we can double click the recordings to have them played back to us. And once we've played a recording, a little arrow will be put next to recording just to signify that we've actually listened to that recording. So if I wanted to change that to the 6th, today's date, I can now check out today's recordings as well. So that gives us the time of each transmission with the user that was speaking at that current time. And that's the audio recordings for the system. They are saved to our servers for up to 6 months. So alongside audio recorders, we also do GPS track recordings. So each radio or application once has a GPS fix is having its GPS coordinates recorded to our servers. Again, this information is stored for up to 6 months in the ToooAir servers here in Sydney. Likewise, this feature can be disabled. Please contact your local ToooAir dealer if you'd like GPS or audio recordings disabled through your ToooAir system. However, to access the GPS recordings for a specific user, we can find a user we'd like to view. So let's view Steve's recordings here. If I right click on Steve and then left click view on a map, this will bring up our show track log here. So we can set up a start time and end time. We can set up the segments of our time period. So GPS coordinates are recorded every 60 seconds. However, if we didn't want to view every 60 seconds worth of plotting, we can actually set segmentation up to say view every 10 minutes or 20 minutes worth of plotting. So from the start time to end time, we can only do a maximum of a 24-hour window. So as you can see here, I've put 5th the 8th from 11 through to the 8th the 6th the 10th. So that's under our 24-hour window. So I'll be able to view this track information here. So once we're happy with what we've got set up, if we click show, this will start populating our map with all of the track log information from that period of time. If I just move this stuff out the way, our track information display is displayed, and it tells us what group it was from. Excuse me, the user, our start time, our, end time, driving distance, the travel time, and the stop time. So with all of the time and latitude and longitude recorded here. Please note the speed isn't always perfectly accurate, so can't really say this is a quantifiable resource for tracking people's speed. However, it is good for showing where people have actually been. So if we just look at the map now, we'll be able to see that the green dot is where it started, which is our start time that we've set down. And then you can see it, breadcrumb trails, where the radio has got GPS fixes throughout the entire journey, and finishing up here on the red icon or dot. And that is the GPS track logs and call logs for the ToooAir system.